Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today I'm here to talk to you about 10 films that I believe deserve the big pomp and circumstance of a VSU release from Vinegar Syndrome. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so if you don't know what the VSU line is, it is from the boutique distributor Vinegar Syndrome, and a lot of you may know this, and a lot of you may not. But they have these amazing VSU, that's Vinegar Syndrome Ultra releases, like this one here. There've been 9 so far. The most recent is Southern Comfort and Navy Seals, which I don't actually have in my hands yet. I'm still waiting on my shipment. But they have had these others like Cloak and Dagger here, and these are just big, beautiful box set releases. They have the magnetic clasps, and this one's really cool. They usually all have like a booklet with them, and then you have the film. You have your inside cover art. This is Cloak and Dagger, and then you have inside another slip art and the film itself, Cloak and Dagger. This one's cool because it looks kind of like an Atari cartridge. This is one of my favorites, and then I absolutely love the Showgirls. Love that big clasp. The artwork is just amazing. And then I love the, and I've showed these off before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it, but I absolutely love the Showgirls release, and my favorite is the Roadhouse. I mean, it's just absolutely epic. So that, in case you didn't know, is your VSU releases. And obviously they're going to continue doing these, and they're kind of steering away from horror with these. So it's sort of a question of then what type of movies. And we kind of see what we got. We got the Walter Hill film, Southern Comfort. We have the ones that I just mentioned. And then you have some stuff that's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, like Six String Samurai and Daryl, which Daryl was not a huge 80s movie, kind of the sci-fi, has the kid from Never Ending Story. And then you have like Sidekicks, which is sort of like a comedy action kind of take off on the Karate Kid type thing with Chuck Norris. And so you kind of are all over the board with some of these like big films that were kind of forgotten and things like that. And I love that stuff. And then you breathe life into them with these 4K restorations, and then these big, just absolutely beautiful VSU box sets. So there's a lot of pomp and circumstance, a lot of fanfare around these releases. And there are a bunch of films that I would love to see get these releases. So I'll probably end up doing a couple of these videos, but I'm going to hold it to 10 today, maybe a couple of honorable mentions. I'm going to try not to overlap with some of my other videos, but there are some films that I definitely believe need to get this release, because I would be like knocking people over to get them. And I'm going to jump right into 10 of these films that I believe should get the VSU treatment and would be perfect for this release line. And the first one is the most obvious one that comes to mind, the one that I would literally beat a path to go get, and that is Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. This is the the best we've gotten is the Blu-ray, and this is a custom slipcase. And I absolutely love this film. This is a Canon film, and it is, if you've never seen it, this is Sylvester Stallone. I believe this is 1987, and it's sort of a estranged father and son reconnecting story told through using the vehicle of championship arm wrestling and truck driving. Stallone is like an everyman truck driver, blue collar guy. He married a woman who is very wealthy and has a father who is, disapproving. They have a child, and thanks to her father, it doesn't work out. And the child is raised very like prep school proper. He's kind of kept away from his father, but now his mother is sick, and she wants him to spend time with his father. And they sort of connect and bridge the gap over the course of the film. And then of course the arm wrestling is awesome. And then it has a great soundtrack with Kenny Loggins with like one of the more memorable songs, "Meet Me Halfway Across the Sky." I just think of the song the whole time. This is everything a VSU release is looking for. So Over the Top, definitely on my list. All right, moving along to one I don't have a physical copy of, but I think when you look at films like Daryl and Cloak and Dagger that got a release, here is one from 1989, I believe it is, that I think is perfect. It stars Fred Savage, Christian Slater, Beau Bridges, Luke Edwards, and that is The Wizard. And if you haven't seen The Wizard, Fred Savage is like 10, maybe, or probably 12 years old, and he has a even younger brother who is autistic, and their mother has passed away, and I think passed away. It might have been. I'm pretty sure it's passed away. And he is sort of like a savant when it comes to playing Nintendo. And you talk about a film that, and Christian Slater is his older brother. Well, Fred Savage gets his younger brother who's autistic, and they run away trying to get to this video game championship in California and go to this place where they last remember all being happy with their mother that's along the way. And you talk about product placement. Like, this is where most of us were introduced to the Power Glove and to like Super Mario 3 and seeing him fly with his raccoon tail or whatever. This film was massive. It came out when I was like 10 years old, and I mean, had just gotten a Nintendo, and oh wow, this was a massive film, and it kind of fits like right in there with Cloak and Dagger and with Daryl, sort of somewhere, some sort of mix of those, and I just think it's absolutely perfect for a VSU release. Okay, another one that I don't have now. I don't have a lot of these. I'm in the market, so hey, we haven't with a lot of these we haven't gotten an update from DVD, but this one is a cult hit, and it's 1985's The Legend of Billie Jean. Fair is fair. That's what I think of every time I think of this. This is Helen Slater's probably most famous role. Christian Slater's in this film too. I mean, he was all over the place in the 80s. Yeardley Smith is in this, who ends up being the voice of Lisa Simpson. She's in this movie. And it's sort of like Billie Jean, she becomes an outlaw martyr. And I mean, this is just a cult hit status. It's got action, it's got sort of adventure into it. Legendary cult film status. I believe that The Legend of Billie Jean is a perfect VSU release. Another one that I believe is a really good release is a film that might show up on another one of my lists here soon, and that is Diggstown. Now, if you've never seen Diggstown, this is a 1992 film that's a loaded cast. It has James Woods, Lou Gossett Jr., and Bruce Dern starring in this film, but it also has Heather Graham, Oliver Platt, and Jim Caviezel in it. I mean, it is loaded, and James Woods is a con man, and he's friends with this guy who's like a retired boxer played by Lou Gossett Jr., and he goes to this small town, and this guy basically owns this town, this rich guy, and they make a bet and a deal that Lou Gossett Jr. can beat 10 of the Diggstown men, because it's like a boxing town. They're real big into boxing, and he makes a bet that he can beat 10 of the Diggstown men in one day in boxing. And it's this huge bet and this huge thing, and there's all kinds of sabotage and stuff going back and forth. It's sort of like an action comedy drama. Got a little bit of drama in there, but it's more of like a kind of a caper, almost a heist type film because it's a con man thing. Really great, sort of huge cast, sort of like Lost American kind of classic film there that's just loaded with cast and a lot of fun. James Woods is absolutely great, and I think it is one that is perfect. I can like visualize this cover, and that is Diggstown. Next one up, I'm imagining a lot of people who are tuning in here may have thought this one would be a very good VSU, and kind of surprised maybe that I haven't seen it on 4K yet, even. And I'm not even sure if it's a Blu-ray. I don't have it. I had the VHS is the last time I had it, and I'm talking about 1986's Iron Eagle. I mean, when you have a film like Navy SEALs, Iron Eagle to me was a much more popular like cult film. Stars Jason Gedrick, Lou Gossett Jr. Jason Gedrick's father is Air Force fighter pilot. He gets shot down behind enemy lines, and because of what was going on, the American government's not going to get him. So Jason Gedrick and his friends, along with the help of Lou Gossett Jr., Chappie, they put together a plan. They basically steal two loaded fighter jets to go get his father. And Lou Gossett Jr. is fantastic in this. I mean, who doesn't remember Chappie? And rest in peace, Lou Gossett Jr. This is a movie that is absolutely perfect. The 80s action, all that kind of stuff. It's like Top Gun mixed with, it is all there for a VSU release. Next up is one that I do have, and my goodness, this movie is absolutely perfect. It's pertinent now. It was a huge film. This is a film that had like a $25 million budget back in, 1993, and ended up making like 200 million, 180 million, something like that at the box office. And for then, that was a ton. It's a sci-fi action, and it stars none other than Sylvester Stallone again. I am talking about Demolition Man. This movie, I mean, come on. This is 100% deserves the VSU treatment. If you think about films like Roadhouse and stuff, this movie, it's not a horror, so it's got some sci-fi elements, action elements, comedy elements. This movie has everything that would make a great VSU, and I am shocked. If this is on 4K somewhere, somebody let me know. I've not seen it. I still have the old DVD. I do know there was like a Blu-ray set that came out. No, this deserves the VSU treatment. Wesley Snipes, you have Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock is in this, Rob Schneider is in this. This film is absolutely loaded. Gosh, I just forgot the comedian's name. I totally just blanked out on oh my gosh, I think you hear me knocking, and I think I'm coming in. I cannot think of his name. But it absolutely, it's driving me crazy. I can't think of his name. Y'all tell me his name. I'll find it after this. But this is a really good movie, and I think this would sell out. They could charge $100 for this VSU, and it would sell out in a day at most. This would be a massive VSU. All right, moving right along here is another one that I have on DVD, and it is a cult status film that stars Christian Slater again. And this one, surprisingly enough, has Tony Hawk in it, and it is from 1989. I am talking about the skateboard action movie, kind of a little bit of Goonies vibe in that they take it all on themselves, these teenagers. I'm talking about Gleaming the Cube. I have this old DVD of it, and I remember just watching this movie over and over again. This is a huge cult hit. It has action, great sort of like a little bit of crime, drama, mystery elements in it. And then, of course, the skateboarding, it's up there with, I would put it, honestly, I would put it past Rad as far as how popular it was and how popular of a cult film it is, especially when you throw in Christian Slater starring. To me, it's better than Rad, and look how good Rad did for them. Gleaming the Cube, definitely, I would be all over this for a VSU. Give it to us. It is one that should definitely be there. All right, another one that is in the sci-fi action category, and it stars another one of those 80s action icons. I am talking about Universal Soldier. To me, this is another one that is perfect. It for a VSU, it kind of brings in military into the movie, kind of like Southern Comfort touched on military, and it brings in the action, fighting, old school style, kind of like Roadhouse or these other movies, and that sci-fi element to Jean-Claude Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren. It spawned sequels, but this movie, I just want to eat. Like I think about that line. If you guys know that, it's a deep cut from the movie when he figures out that he can eat again. Reanimated soldiers, kind of like RoboCop style, but not. I absolutely think Universal Soldier would knock it out of the park with a VSU release, and it is one that I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome give that treatment to. So it makes our list here. Now, the next one is probably a pipe dream because it was distributed by like Disney affiliated. I think it's Touchstone Pictures. And that is 1993's The Program. And if you haven't seen The Program, it 1,000,000% deserves. We haven't gotten it since a DVD. I don't think even a Blu-ray exists of this. 1993, and this movie is loaded. Stars Christy Swanson, Halle Berry, James Caan, Omar Epps. The list goes on and on in this film, and it is. It is drama. It's got football as the background, college football. It is one of the most quoted, especially if you're into sports movies or you're in sports or your kids are in sports. It is one of the most quoted football movies ever. There are scenes that are iconic. Dwayne Davis as Alvin Mack, and then Andrew Brzezinski as Latimer. This movie is nuts. It is high charge. It's almost like an Oliver Stone type film, the way it's done. Talk about American classic with football, everything else. It has anything and everything that you could want from that type of movie. An early role for Halle Berry, and it is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. This movie would be amazing as a VSU. I would love to see it, but like I said, who knows, because of, maybe now that Sony has got Disney stuff, maybe they will release it if nothing else, but I would love to see. This just seems like that Vinegar Syndrome type thing. Although I could see somebody like Criterion even going after this because of kind of the topics and stuff that go on in this movie. Okay, one more, and this one is one that I have mentioned several times in several lists on this. I got a couple of honorable mentions for this list. For part one here, this is a video or a movie that I have mentioned on a couple of videos, and it's another Walter Hill film, and to me, this is just like Americana in a movie, and it has a little bit of horror and great music and everything else. I'm talking about Crossroads again. I'm going to beat this drum, but my goodness, we've already seen a VSU Walter Hill movie with Southern Comfort. I think this film is even more of that slice of Americana that is kind of synonymous to me with the VSU line. I mean, I could even maybe see this going in over to the cinematograph line from Vinegar Syndrome, and maybe I'll do a video of films that I believe belong on that line. But this film, it it has a Blu-ray release now that's a couple of years old, I think. This film deserves way more. From the music alone, and Walter Hill, I mean, 4 stars. I love the 4 stars by Roger Ebert. This movie is a piece of cinema, and it would be outstanding. Ralph Macchio, Jamie Gertz, Joe Seneca, the the guitar battle at the end's absolutely epic. I can visualize everything about this in a VSU. If you want to be taken seriously, this is the type of movie that you put out. Again, could be on the cinematograph line too. I could definitely see that, but we definitely need a better release of this film. Now, a couple more that I want to throw in here because I'm not going to talk about them real long because I just put them on list of awesome movies you've never seen. So check out that video. But one that I think fits like a glove here, fits like a glove because it almost reads like a Walter Hill movie to me too. Patrick Swayze again. A film with him and Bill Paxton and Liam Neeson. I'm talking about Next of Kin. Again, it's got action, grittiness, crime drama, sort of like the mob and mafia family against the hillbilly family. I've talked about this in length in other videos, so I'm not going to talk about it long here. VSU written all over it. 100% a great film, would be perfect for Vinegar Syndrome's VSU line. And then a final one is one that I just mentioned in my last awesome movies that you haven't seen. Another sort of action film from the late 80s. And I am might be early, and I might have been 91. I'm talking about Toy Soldiers. It stars Sean Astin, Lou Gossett Jr. popping back up in this one, Denholm Elliott, Will Wheaton. This movie, I just talked about it a lot. Make sure you check out that video because I think it's a great film for this. You have an iconic, Sean Astin is iconic with the 80s and 90s with Goonies and Rudy and all the movies that he did. And then he, still now with Stranger Things and Lord of the Rings and stuff. I think it is a perfect movie. It's just that sort of good old American movie that I see them going for with the VSU line. And it was very popular at the time. It's sort of more cult status, harder to find. It would breathe new life back into it. I think Toy Soldiers would be a great one for the VSU line. Just like all of these, I am 100% sold on the Vinegar Syndrome VSU line, the cinematograph line. I am going to collect these lines 100%. That's going to cost me going back and get Beastmaster. That one's sort of the hardest one that's eluding me now. I was late to the party on that. And the same with the cinematograph line, Little Darlings. I'm going to get into that eventually on a video of its own. A massive just upgrade for that film. Unbelievable release. And all of these films deserve that kind of treatment. And I think any one of these or all of these that I mentioned in this film are in this video, these films would sell like that. I mean, they are perfect. They are everything they're looking for with VSU. Maybe a couple do drift over in that cinematograph line. I think I'm going to need to do a video on that because I can think of tons of movies right off the top of my head that are overlooked. And I'm just so thrilled that places like Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow Video, Scream Factory, even all these places, they are restoring these films and giving them the attention and the artwork and, like I said, the pomp and circumstance and the fanfare that they deserve on these releases. It introduces them to a whole new generation of movie watchers and people that love films and gives them a whole new life for people that saw them before. And that is absolutely epic, in my opinion. It is what it's all about, man, preserving these films and giving them new life for generations to come. That's what they're doing here. And the VSU line is perfect top tier for that, in my opinion. I would love to see these films and many others. So maybe I'll do part 2, part 3 of this, because there are so many that I want to see get that VSU and cinematograph treatment and Arrow box set treatment. I'm going to get into some that I think are perfect for Arrow too. So make sure you guys stay tuned if you want to see that and so much more movie talk and lists and reviews and looks from a filmmaker's perspective on different things, general film talk and pop culture. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button and hang around, join the AV Pop Culture family. And until next time, this is Chase with AV Pop Culture. Be kind, rewind like always, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.